I think this is a really good opportunity. We talked about the invasion of cities and colleges. I want to throw to one more example. Someone who teeters on the edge quite a bit, shows up talking out of both sides of his mouth. He had this to say recently about Jasmine Crockett. Sometimes you get attacked by your own.
Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work.
He's got to deal with Black woman issues.
Oh my God.
Writ large. And whatever self-hate exists within him.
That is self-hate.
I've never seen a clip of him where he actually praises a Black woman.
That's what I'm saying. He's got Black woman issue he's got to deal with. But
for those who are listening, that was Stephen A. Smith commentating about Jasmine Crockett's lack of work. For context, there was a poll that was recently done, and Jasmine Crockett's approval numbers amongst the American people rival Barack Obama's in 2008. So just for context, he is on an island unto himself because people see her largely working on our behalf. And I also want to say we recently had Jasmine Crockett on. It was on my solo pod, and Jasmine is on the show talking about having to go get fit for a bulletproof vest. So this is not the time for this.
Yeah.
And it is very dangerous for this. So I hear you even on the danger, even on campuses, but I wanted to bring this in because this is the kind of messaging they're hearing on their sports platforms, on talk radio, all the time. There is a growing divide between Black men and Black women.
Oh my God.
And I think that some of them are also leaning more conservative in their talking points.
She's a congresswoman from Texas, and Texas has this open carry law. Governor Abbott is such a dangerous, problematic person.
He sets up a false argument.
Yes.
How much attention is this taken away from you getting whatever you need for your district? The Republicans control the House of Representatives, the Senate and the White House. They not letting her get ish for her districts. And so the best she can do right now, not just for her district, but for the country, is to speak up and hold them to account at every single level.
She does.
Are there Black men that's listening to Stephen A. Bakari?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but they would take that and take it seriously.
There are people who like
white men.
Yeah, and they think that they think that Jasmine Crockett talks with her neck
I'm not just saying
is too loud and snaps her fingers and all that, and they caricature her like he's doing.
Yeah.
And so my point though is that I didn't like the back and forth with Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace or whoever it was, right? But
Nancy Mace is the one that got violent. She was the one that said, "Let's take it outside."
I know them both very well.
Taylor Greene.
I know them both very well, and that just because I was in the legislature, so I look at that totally different. However, I will tell you that there is a through line between the Ice Cubes and the Jason Whitlocks and the Stephen A. Smiths, and these individuals and. Ice Cube may be slightly different than the other two, but these individuals have been around since we have been on this freedom struggle. There have always been individuals out there which exhibit behaviors of charlatans who utilize. Some people are in it for the change, and some people are in it for the change, right? And I think that that's indicative. And they find the easiest path to the front of the line. And Stephen A. Smith is someone who doesn't have the depth to talk about House oversight or the appropriations process, right? And how you're able to bring resources back to your community or what Jasmine is doing. So he rather lampoon her or instead of having a constructive conversation. And so I've said what I've had to say about Stephen A. Smith in my book anywhere I can. I don't have a lot of use for him in the political dialogue. I think that there are individuals who he matriculated with at Winston-Salem State University that are extremely disappointed about the man he's become.
It's so disheartening to me. It's frustrating, one, because anytime we speak on this, it's like man haters and all this. But I feel such confidence in Black men. I've never bought into the idea that all these Black men are voting for Trump. Like, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. We're pretty much in line with each other. What you all are saying is no, they are are, and the data shows that there have been inroads among Black men. I want to ask why, because it is frustrating to me, and it feels heartbreaking, to be honest, because we are impacted by this system as well. It's not a matter of who's impacted worse. We're impacted differently. We sit at the intersection of being Black and being women. And so when men are frustrated with this system, it feels like they fight us. You know, and I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category too. I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of Black men. Why aren't Black men right now saying, F Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what Black women do. We organize.
Yeah, but you asked the question why.
Yes, tell me why.
So, by the way, I love the usage of adjectives.
I'm sure I messed it up somewhere.
But the answer to the question why is kind of twofold. Black men showed up. We were the third largest demographic voting for. You had Black women, you had Jews as a collective, and then you had Black men, somewhere between 74, 76% voting for Kamala Harris. And so, yeah, it's not a large number. We still are there. But the slippage you've seen is twofold. The first is that there's been no party, no group, which for the past 20, 30 years has taken the time to listen to Black men holistically. And many times we are spoken to about policy. That policy revolves around things like criminal justice. Mm-hmm. But
weed.
And marijuana. But very rarely do we have fulsome conversations about the Black men who are out there struggling to pay for early childhood education, child support, right? You know, how that
wages.
You know, when the craziest thing is when you get locked up for child support, do you know that your child support continues to grow?
Of course.
Like your driver's license gets suspended.
It's an unbreakable cycle.
It's an unbreakable cycle, right? I mean, just opportunities, STEM opportunities. So just having a holistic, fulsome conversation around Black men is something that hasn't happened. The other thing is, which is a question that we have to answer, and hopefully we'll untangle it over the next, 100 episodes.
Certainly while you're here.
Certainly while I'm here is, there are a lot of Black men who question whether or not they have the ability to breathe and lead in an era of Black girl magic.
I will say what I would add, because I disagree on the latter point, but I do agree to this one, which is I think Black men want the bag too. And we on the Democratic side don't talk enough, if at all,
or listen
about how I'm gonna help you prosper. What does prosperity for us look like? So if at every turn, you're the deficit end of the equation, every turn, somebody's got to do something for you, you're not making room. And one thing that Trump's talking points appear to do is to put you on track or on alignment with getting a bag. I don't think that is wholesale widespread.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, I think he does have issues with Black women, but I also think the brother's also trying to get and maintain and grow a bag. And he's similar to a lot of the Black Republicans who ideologically could not articulate anything worth mentioning, are out here caping because they're not in competition with Bakari Sellers or Andrew Gillum. But they're at the front of the line on that side because they're willing to say the things that white people think and don't get to say with license. But they got you, caping clown, who's willing to say it.
Right.
And they get rewarded for it.
But he looks like money. He smells like money. He talks
All
loud.
of it.
He knows LeBron, even though LeBron can't stand him.
Yeah.
So he's there. He walks with a swag. He went to an HBCU, so he's the perfect messenger. And so when people come to him because he doesn't look. Black men are always in the mode of survival. Yeah. Always. Yeah. And he looks like somebody who's thriving. So you're more inclined to listen to someone who has made it to some point. It's an aspirational thing.
Yeah.
Native Land Pod is a production of iHeartRadio in partnership with Reason Choice Media. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.